Hey there. What I'm going to do is start a series of videos that has to do with the different mounting solutions for silencers and how they interface with the firearms and the intended purpose of each one. There's a myriad of options that are out there to mount your silencers to your host firearms, and no one really goes into great detail to educate you as to which one goes with what application. Well, today we're going to start that process. The first thing we have here is a Glock with a lone wolf barrel that's threaded and a Centurion with a booster on it. Alright, I'm going to go over these components, but what we're really going to dive deep into today is boosters, how they work and why you need them. First thing we'll do is take the mag out, make sure the gun's empty, take the booster assembly off so we can go into this design. Alright, the booster is an attachment to our silencers so that you can interchange them to do different tasks. This is just one solution for that. We're going to get into how this booster is made and why you need it with these silencers. The Glock 17 is only one of many firearms that operate under this principle. This principle is a locked breech recoil operated firearm. As the barrel and slide move back together, they move back about 1/8 of an inch together, and then there is parts inside of here that will pull that barrel down and move it out of this position where it's engaged in this notch in the slide. And once it does that, as I can show you here, once it does that, then the slide can continue to travel on back past it, extracting the empty casing and ejecting it and such as that. It gets this little bit of push from the muzzle of the gun. The bullet leaves the barrel, and the thrust and counter force of that bullet moving forward pushes back on the gun and unlocks it. And then the thrust of the casing and the inertia of the motion carry it onto the rear, expelling the spent case, and then the spring pushes forward, bringing a new cartridge into battery. Now that we know what's going on with the pistol, enter a silencer. We have a modular booster mount device, and we have the silencer module itself. The silencer module does two things to the gun that the gun isn't designed to have happen to it. Those are, it dampens recoil because that blast baffle, when that blast of pressure hits it, it pushes forward, which is counteracting the natural forces the gun was designed around. The second thing it does is it adds weight. So it's holding down, which is a levering force against the end of the gun, because now you have this muzzle weight pulling down on the gun. Alright, so plus you have static inertia. An object in motion tends to remain in motion, object at rest tends to remain at rest. The whole rule, it applies to this too. So when the gun goes off, you have all of this mass that you need to get into motion with the barrel and slide to get it to work. Well, the firearm's not designed to carry all that additional mass. So we have to come up with a way of circumventing that. And that's what this does. All right, you have a spring, you have a piston, which is a muzzle attachment for the firearm. You have a retaining cap that holds the piston and spring inside the housing. And it just goes in and screws down. All right. All you're doing here is you're putting the piston, whoops, dropped it. All you're doing here is putting the piston on the barrel. Piston has very little mass to it, so it's not really slowing down the barrel and slide enough to inhibit operation. The housing and the retaining cap and the spring, for the most part, along with the silencer module, are momentarily decoupled from that. That decoupling action allows the silencer under recoil to float in space slightly in front of the gun long enough for that barrel and slide to move that 1/8 inch and unlock before the spring starts bringing it all back together. So The goal there is to simulate something like the old magician used to do with the tablecloth and the place setting, where he would pull the tablecloth out from under all the dishes. He was able to do that because of inertia. That's what we're doing here. But the goal with the booster is to remove the mass of the silencer and booster housing assembly from the barrel and slide of the firearm, so that it can act under its normal forces and still have the silencer attached to the gun. So what we're going to do is go over numerous mounting solutions, the booster being the first one, and we will finish it with fixed barrel adapters. We'll do the 3-lug mount, how they're made, what you use them for. We'll even try to look at like quick attach mounting schemes and things like that.